Want to invest in the stock market but do not know where to start from? ETFs might be the best for you as a beginner because they offer diversification and they offer returns for you to build wealth. So what are ETFs? In this video, I'm going to be discussing what ETFs are, how can you invest in these ETFs, and what are the pros and the cons of ETFs. So make sure you stay to the end, because at the end, I'm going to be sharing the tips of how you can start your investment journey using $50 to invest in ETFs. Make sure you like, subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that whenever I put up information like this, you can always receive a notification. So let's dive in. What are ETFs? ETFs are exchange traded funds. They are a group of companies come together into one shares. So let's assume when you buy an apple from a store, a bag of apple contains different apples in it. You might have like 10 apples, 20 apples in that bag of apple. It's the same thing as ETFs. So when you look at an ETF, it might comprise about 30 companies, 40 companies, 50 companies, even 500 companies can come together. And when you buy a share of that ETF, it means you're owning a bit of those 500 companies. Or if it's a 30 companies, it means you're owning a bit of those 30 companies. And that is why it offers diversification, because it's not just one company that you're buying. So you're not just buying Apple, for instance. If you're buying ETFs that Apple is in it, Google is in it, you're buying those buckets of all those companies. Now, what are the pros and the cons for ETF? So for the pro, it offers diversification. You're not just buying a share of a company, remember. You're buying for different companies, which means even if one company is not performing very well, the tendency that other companies would perform is there, and you discover that your risk is diversified for various companies, and it offers low fees compared to mutual fund. So exchange traded funds are actually managed by some portfolio managers, but they offer, and you have to pay a fee. But the fee is quite low compared to what you pay if you're going to be buying a mutual fund. And it's easy to trade. So just like the way you trade your stocks on the market, just like the way you go into the stock exchange through your app and you buy your Apple shares, your Google shares, your Amazon shares, is the same way you're going to be buying ETFs from those apps. And you can sell them at any time. So as long as the market is open, you can actually buy and you can actually sell. And it's very good for beginners. The reason is you do not need to do a lot of research. Like, what are the daily things that you're currently using? So you can just look for, oh, I use this every day. Let me look for ETFs that has this company in it, and you can buy it, and you already have diversified. Your risk is already diversified in that portfolio. So what are the cons for ETF? There is market risk. Just as we have market risk for every shares, the price can fluctuate at any time. So there's market risk in it. And there is no guaranteed return. So for any shares at all, there is no guaranteed return. So same thing is applicable for ETF. And some ETF might have higher fees. So when you're looking at buying ETFs, one of the things you're going to be considering before you actually make your purchases is what is the management expense ratio. So for every share, for every ETF, you're going to see the management expense ratio, which means this is the fee you're going to be paying for every shares you buy. So how does ETF work? Just like you go to your markets regularly, the stock markets regularly, it's the same way as ETF. You're going to open an account, you go into the store, you buy. If you want to sell, you sell. But when you want to buy, you're going to be buying using the ticket symbol. So for every shares you're buying from an app, they all have ticket symbols. So you're going to see maybe VOO will be S&P 500 ETF. So that is what you're going to be searching for in the app, and that is what you're going to be buying from the app. You're going to need a brokerage account if you want to buy this type of shares. So depending on the country you're in, there are different brokerage accounts. For Canada, for instance, we have the Wealth Simple, we have the TD app that you can use to buy your shares. So you go into this app, you're going to open your account. For US, for example, you might be looking at the Fidelity to buy your shares. And if you're in other part of the world, look for a brokerage app that relates to your country. You're going to open an account with this brokerage app, and you're going to move your money from your banking account into the brokerage app for you to be able to buy. And when you want to sell as well, you're going into the brokerage app for you to be able to sell your ETF. So what are the types of ETFs we have? We have the stock ETF. Stock ETF means that they are tracking companies. So you might have different companies come together in the bucket of ETF. So when you look at S&P 500, for instance, S&P 500 is the best 500 companies in the US stock exchange, in the US market. And US is one of the biggest market in the world, you know. So these are the best 5 companies. It doesn't matter the sector they are in, as long as they are the best 500 companies, they've come together in an S&P 500. So that is tracking the best 500. That is the stock ETF. Then we have the bond ETF. Bond ETF will comprise of all the bonds that are available. So bonds is a debt instrument you loaning your money to either a corporate organization, a A-list corporate organization, or the government, the municipal government, federal government, or the state government, for them to run a project. So you can look for bond ETFs if you want to go into bond ETFs. We have the sector ETFs as well. This is where you look at industry specific. So you might say, okay, I want industry in the tech. I just want to invest in ETFs in the tech industry. So you're going to be looking at industry specific. There are some ETFs like that as well. Then you have the dividend paying ETFs. There are some companies that these ETFs, they only specialize in dividend paying companies. So any type of dividend company you see in that bucket of ETFs, it means they're going to be paying you dividends. And so these are the types of ETFs you want to look at depending on what you want to invest in. Then what is the best ETFs for you to invest in 2025? So when you're looking at investing in 2025, if you're looking, you might be thinking of, okay, VOO, that's the best 500 companies, especially if you're a beginner and you do not really understand the market. I would say go for something like VOO because it's tracking the best 500 companies in US. And what it means is if a company is not performing well, it's been dropped. It's going to move over the next 500. You understand? So you already diversify your portfolio. And as you begin to grow as an investor, then you can start going into maybe other types of ETFs. Then we have the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100. It's tracking the 100 technology companies in the US market as well. So that's where you see the Amazon, the Google, maybe all those AI apps in in the QQQ portfolio. Then we have the VT, which is the Vanguard Total World Stock. So if you want to even diversify your portfolio further, you don't want to just buy the US stock, you can go into the VT, which looks at the total world stock. That is, it tracks that kind of portfolio. And if you're in Canada, you want to invest in Canada, you might be looking at the VGN. VGN tracks the total Canadian stock market. So if you buy a piece of that VGN, it means that you're owning a piece and bit of all the companies in the Canadian stock market. And if you're looking for passive income, you might be looking for VYM. These are the ticket symbols. So you remember I said that something about ticket symbol. When you open your account, you're going to be looking for a ticket symbol, right? So these are the ticket symbol, VYM. These are high dividends paying stocks. So you're going to look, it tracks those high dividend paying stocks. And if you want to go into that bucket, that is what you're going to be buying. And if you're looking at SCHD, we track the growth ETF. So there are some companies that are growth ETFs, and you might want to look at that. Then you might be looking at the REITs, which is the Real Estate Investment Trust. So the Real Estate Investment Trust, these are the types of ETFs that tracks the real estate sector. So if you want to invest in that as well. Now, remember I said I'm going to be telling you how you can invest with $50, right? Now we've gotten to that part where you can invest with $50. But before I go into that part, I'm going to be having a class coming up on the 29th of March, and I'll be teaching you how you can start your investment journey, how you can start using passive income using dividends paying shares. So you can click the link in the description for you to register for the next class. I hold this class on a monthly basis. So if you're seeing this video, maybe after March 29th, there's always class available. So you can just check into my store and you'll see when the next class will be available. So now let's dive in. How do you invest with $50? So the first thing you need to do is you need a brokerage account. So open a brokerage account. When you're done opening a brokerage account, how much do you want to invest? I want to invest $50, for instance. Okay, so you go into your brokerage account. You're going to move your money from your banking account into this brokerage account. Even if it's a banking app, as in the brokerage account is being opened with a bank. Let's say you're using a TD brokerage account. You still need to move your money from your checking account into the brokerage account. Now, if you're moving your money into the brokerage account, if you're in a country that have tax sheltered account, the best thing is for you to use this type of tax sheltered account, because whatever return you make on your investment in a tax sheltered account is most likely not taxable, or it is tax deferred. Now, once you've moved your money into the brokerage account, the next thing you're going to be doing is you're going to search for the ETF you want to buy. So let's say you want to buy VOO. You're going to search for VOO on the app. After you search for the VOO, you're going to click on buy. So depending on the time of the day when you click on buy, if it's during the day when the market is still open, the purchase will be made almost immediately. But if it's maybe you're doing it over the night, then the purchase will be made at the next day, which is the next business day when the market opens. So once you click on buy, your shares would be bought from the market. You're going to have like an evidence, like a receipt on the app that you can actually download to say, okay, I already own a share in this company. And if you want to sell as well, it's the same thing. Just click on the button and sell, and you can always sell whatever you have in your portfolio. So in conclusion, ETFs are very simple, and it's a powerful way for you to start your investment journey in the stock market. It offers you diversification. Imagine you putting maybe $50 and you're able to buy the best 500 companies in US, or even NASDAQ 100, the technology company. So, and as time goes on, make sure you do a direct deposit from your banking account into your app, so that maybe on a monthly basis, you're going to be doing $50 every month. At the end of 12 months, if you're doing $50 every month, you would have invested $600 in the stock market. So this is how you can go about it. So if you're looking at growing your wealth, or you're even looking for passive income, ETFs might be the best way for you to start today. Or if you don't even have a knowledge about the market at all, ETFs will be the best way for you to start today. And if you're looking to gain knowledge about investing in stock, make sure you register for my next class that will be coming up on the 29th of March. Or anytime you see this video, just go into my store and you're going to see the next class that is coming up. So currently, what are you going to be doing? Do you now understand ETFs? Have you started investing in ETFs? Keep the comments coming and let me know what topic you would like me to discuss in the next time I come your way. So till I come your way next time, remain blessed and God bless you.